welcome to the lovely IHP community and the 5D collective. We're gonna chit chat a little bit more for the day, and then I'll let you go and talk about our lovely true self, safe 5D people. So here's where, when I meet those who are safe, there's a difference from those who are paused, self, half people. Whether they're mystics, spiritual, or mindfully living or loving, the safe, true person, true self, higher self. We've been talking attachment trauma. I'm integrating it more and more so that you can understand our 5D collective, the Christ consciousness, the pure consciousness incarnate. It is all about a non-traumatized, securely attached person who knows how to metabolize thoughts and emotions. So we're going to use also some of Patrick Tiahan's content and a lovely number of quotes because they always support me to chit chat with you. And if you're new, mindfulness is used by anybody, but mind sight skills can only be something you do if you can sift through sensations, images, feelings, and thoughts. As Dr. Daniel Siegel points out, the plane of infinite possibilities with the emotions and thoughts can be flattened when you have an integrated brain. Mine is flat. It's not a flat line. It's a oxytocin gene hormone. So I'm a safe person because my moods don't make me flip a switch. If I get triggered, I will know how to talk about it. I will actively bring you what is a functional child-adult conversation. I'm an open-hearted 3-year-old, and thanks to God, Jesus, and Holy Spirit, I know all about me being crooked, you too, because we're both flawed and sinners, and I'm not going to be God. No, I'm having integrity, unlike those who actually, I will say, in my upbringing, I told God they disrespect you, they act like you, but they are monsters, and they continue to shame people. In fact, they have non-bilateral integration, all those people. So when I hear a story, I know who to call. Not Ghostbusters. Peter Pan, is Wendy doing great? Awesome, have fun. So the non-bilaterally integrated brain person is a pause self, and they are not practicing mindfulness like the Zen master who has laundry. They're practicing rumination. They also don't know how to be in their present. The presence of you can only happen if you navigate your prefrontal cortex and your ventral energy. That means that when you stub your toe, when you cry, when you get mad, all those emotions, you say, okay, let me navigate the surfboard. So you learn self-regulation healthily. That's why we're equanimous, non-reactive, and unconsciously loving. So those who are the 5D collective choose the frequency of love because we, again, are able to practice mindfulness and presence as our self, our true self, and that's why we also expand with the ascension energies. So when the ascension energies hit, because we're navigating the true self, the higher frequency of love, all you need is love, yes, but for real, from your own securely attached and untraumatized body that says, oh, look, emotions came up, oh, look, thoughts, and I won't be doing my inner critic, outer critic, and the roller coaster. No, I'm going to have a conversation which says there's positive, negatives, and there's unknowns, and there's no need for me to drag them down or up. And I'm choosing, therefore, to use my prefrontal because that's exactly how you do it. Otherwise, you don't want to. I want the person live on self-help, Maria. Okay. So half-safe people, they don't do any of mindful living. That's why they don't live their true self, but their pause self. And we're going to talk with Patrick Tiahan about what they do with triggers. Practicing mindfulness and presence as yourself, on the other hand, for the 5D collective, has us expanding not only with the ascension energies, thanks to navigating the 5D frequency, coherence through our restorative, embodied, self-aware, accountable, and regulating life, but furthermore, we are mystic, spiritual, mindful people who, as securely attached, functional child adults, self-regulate independently of relationships and outside events because we're leading with a body and a mind and a brain and a self that is mindfully our true higher self. And we stay anchored in ventral. So you can't shame me because you'll say, you're manipulative, coward, bitch, whore, crooked. Also, my mother taught me self-respect. So this 3-year-old knows exactly what a person who is disrespectful looks like and what to do. If you can't say something nice, say nothing. And basically, remember, I taught you manners. You come to me, and then God said, remember, they're brothers and sisters. And then as a mystic, I'm like, wow, they are in the frequency of fear. Got it. They're the lower toroidal field. Thank you for your service, because I know that we need you, because consciousness consistently continues to expand and humans evolve. And so we always will have, I know some people think we have no free will, like Determined with Robert Sapolsky, but I'm going to say with the good therapist, The fear people have free will to choose to go get their paused self and their half safe ass pretending person in there or mystic. But I'm going to say, so to me, they're a liar because I can perceive their mask. So they are performing. The performance is not a circus act. Although my facade friend, he did actually, buffoonery came from him for sure. We might have some stories. So again, the outside events and our relationships don't get us off our ventral energy. And so with daily mindfulness practices and mindset skills, so we sift our sensations, images, the feelings and thoughts by having the inner growth mindset life and that style and mindset, you maintain equanimity, unconditionally love yourself and others, and that healthy self-regulation consistently makes its way with your incarnating pure consciousness, which means that you consistently are at one with, if you call it Akash, grace, you are in flesh, pure, because you know how to say, oh look, I have biases, I have my opinion, I got Maria right here, hey, it's not dying, my ego is here, but I can share it, and I also don't have to. Do you want to know who I am? I don't have to bring my personality patterns or any of my opinions in, but if I do, I know that all my beliefs can be falsifiable. So when you begin to tell me that I'm stupid, I'm okay with that too, because again, I mean, really, you have a point. I can follow your breadcrumb of trails, Hansel and Gretel. That's how it works when you've met so many half-safe paused people since you were a kid, and you know how to use the entirety of your brain, because again, I have no shame. So it's like, I don't understand why you're wielding your words now like that, and you're like an energized battery that just keeps going. I'm just letting you know, but you also promise Jesus, God, and Holy Spirit that you will forgive, and then you get to 19 and you're like, nope, no Lucifer, no evil, just cowards, liars, pretenders, clowns, buffoons. They're miserable. They do drugs and they're miserable. I don't understand. Why are they in college? They should be doing nothing, I guess. Don't people grow up? Peter Pan, how's Wendy? That's what I think of 4D and 3D Collective, who follow, by the way, 7 of 14, who are on Michael Stone's Friends or Criminologist Evil scale. Watch his interview. It's awesome. And so we leave it alone. Again, they will definitely be calling us a lot of names. It's totally cool. As they continue their shit, we continue social engagement state, pursuing integration, and we keep an open heart and a differentiated self. So we choose to have the sense of self, and that's because the non-traumatized, uncharged parts of us are like, hey. So I thought, Eric, with my tail, these are the things we could do, and that's why we're our own safe haven, secure base. It's really fun. So when you get into secure relationships, they're also fun. You enlighten and you expand and you have a good time in the frequency of love and not fear. We talk heart to heart. Yeah, no performance. It's not hard work. No, it's actually, I have compersion, not only as polyamory, but also monoamory people have it too. It's called, we're not jealous and we're not possessive. We want each other to be happy. And the thing is, we're not jealous because we're not afraid of losing each other, because we trust in each other's words. We also know that all relationships have the potential for them not being compatible, but that is not something we're going to be afraid of. We're going to know. Actually, usually you get to know people, and that's why you'll be like, I'm pretty sure that we can make it work out, that we have what it takes. And that's how it works, because you will have built first a secure attachment relationship with someone. Otherwise, I don't know what's in your brain, and if you're not smart, at least for me, then I need to find, are you a safe person? Are you a half safe person? And obviously the safe person is the person that's aware, accountable, regulating, and reflective with, I'm not needing improvement. I'm consistently expanding me. If we still have improvement, then we're going to work with that word to figure out, why do we still feel that we need to work hard? Because that's that inner child that is wanting to be welcomed and can, but we need to participate together. So empowered, healthy self-worth, securely attached, non-traumatized people who take healing trauma seriously don't hide their shame. They don't hide their masks. They don't hide it because they will know of it, because they care to become their whole self and to live a life of meaning and connection with other. The pain is inside, but it's too scary to show that pain and too shameful to show that pain. So frequently, traumatized individuals walk around with a mask. Thank you, Ruth Lanius. We're going to use also another one from Ruth, if I can find it. And I know I read it to you all already, but this one has an added note. Always, Ruth. Traumatized individuals often wear a mask. This is the why of pretending, or they're liars, or they're disingenuous. But I didn't want to use strong words because as I grew up, I simply noticed cowards are going to continue being cowards, but they're not really cowards. They actually believe that that's who they are. And today, with trauma information, they're a paused self. They are half safe because they will be reactive with their exiles, protectors. Their shame, they don't shame me. That's why they're not half safe to me, but I'm an empowered, functional child adult. So my child doesn't have no shame. Again, the only person that, and it's God, Akash, so I got a direct relationship. And I don't play God. I don't play that I'm going to cast a stone because I was directed completely not to. And I know what it means to not cast a stone. Also, again, I am flawed, meaning I can be on the other end of the spectrum, make mistakes. I'm not perfect. I will make them. I won't do it with the intent to hurt your feelings. And if you don't believe me, I won't be able to prove it. And I won't be trying to either. Okay, so the only people who have that word proof in their mouth when it comes to interacting are the same ones who, traumatized individuals, often wear a mask. What do you need to feel safe enough to bring down that mask at a pace that feels comfortable for you? If you're going to build a relationship and not present to me, all of you, when there are troubles within us, we must address them head on. Do not look for distractions. Distraction is not a solution. Not presenting all of you means that you are still afraid, and that's something, though, that is personal. The half-safe people, their triggers often prevent them from seeing the other person's humanity. As Patrick Tiahan presents, he says, when we are triggered, especially by those close to us, and we're talking about people that we are close with, we lose sight of their humanity. That's why they're half safe. That's why, as he points out, they are not taking their past to uncharge it, to love themselves first, to bring forth a healthy self-worth, empowered, like Terry would point out, securely attached, self-accepting human being. But if you are emotionally, mentally, and physically mature, they won't be people that you're afraid of either. And when they do this stuff that I'm about to read to you, you know that they're moody. Because, again, they're not listening to Patrick Tiahan and saying, let me get out of my childhood trauma, shame, blame, fault, revenge, projection. If Bill looks at me one more time, I'm going to beat him up. No, there's people who actively want to stay in their sympathetic because they think that's feelings versus knowing that the oxytocin gene hormone and secure attachment is blissful and at ease, and you're using good stress, so you will still be able to passionately talk about something, but you won't be in bad stress and you won't be in your sympathetic. You're going to be in your social engagement state, which means you're using prefrontal. So you're still having the experience, but you're alive and you're enriching yourself because you're invigorized and energized because you're using a prefrontal cortex. You're not ruminating. And you're using that, again, ventral. So the people don't believe it. You can't if you don't do it. And you won't do it if you continue to want to vent or be in the sympathetic or be in the because you're not testing it out. So in the minds of those who are triggered by their close ones and they lose sight of the humanity of them, so those people in the minds of these individuals become incredibly thoughtless and oblivious. Are you stupid? You don't know? How can you not know? Da, 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 da. Okay, they become manipulative. You're manipulating your words. You're just choosing how you want to use them. I know you. Okay, they become loose cannons. I haven't seen that one personally, but I understand what he means because I'm sure people start yelling at each other. They become terrifying. That's because somebody's afraid. That one can happen. If I got somebody yelling at me, I could be terrified because I'm 4'9". And that's exactly why cannons are terrified would be. They become cowardly. So in this, you're a coward. You don't know, neutral lady. How dare you? You know, you're going to run away. Who knows? So again, just random examples. They become someone who is about to cut us or leave us or both. Oh, please don't leave me. Don't leave me. I don't want you to go. This is really breaks my heart. I'm going to stop that because that makes me feel really sad for those people who don't go to Patrick. So people who don't hold the door, he says, for me, or girlfriends who didn't, or who were 30 minutes late, excuse me, not the girlfriends who were 30 minutes late. the people who didn't hold the door for him. He says they became just like their family in his mind, and that is selfish people who were letting him down on purpose. And that's the other, you're doing it on purpose. I know you are. So when people get upset, that's the part. They're lonely. And he says it's lonely and tough to be in the world with that mindset, because who is the real aggressor? And in this case, he says, I was. And that he was tough on others when he was triggered. So he gives very good examples. Again, I chop it up sometimes because I try to paraphrase it, but of what it's like for a person who is healing to understand themselves. And what you know about people like Patrick is people will stop being their projected childhood trauma because they take the psych education and own it with the community. And then they talk about their experiences and they process it together. But people who instead say, that's bullshit, I don't believe any of it, they continue to instead be triggered, and in situations they become like Diego's family. And that's where some people are okay with it, and I have an indifference to it, because there will consistently be those of us who will choose love and equanimity, and those who will say that their mannerisms like this is true. I'm indifferent because I'm objective and know that some people will take all of this and make it falsifiable. There's sciences people in psychology land, and actively, I won't even mention this one, that bullshit their way through reading data on screen. You'll notice, because they say my colleagues are all against me. Anytime I'm hearing anyone who's a professional say they're against me, do we have a 16-year-old in the room who wanted all their friends to take their side? I see. We got a charged person right now. You understand what that means? Because I heard about it through the grapevine. Studies show that people want bystanders to take their side. And also it just reminds me of teenagers like, you're not taking my side. Why aren't you taking my side? Why do I need to take your side? That's not my side. It's your business. So we want to be understood. We want to be welcomed. We want to be validated. You can always have a conversation and not validate and understand. And so there's no need to whine about not being validated or accuse all of colleagues and sciences and people who are not on your side of being wrong, because that's actually a very immature emotional response, which leads me to just share. That's why structurally dissociated human beings are still all over out there. It doesn't matter how old they are. They don't know how to be objective and know, I have likes and dislikes. That's why I said, again, to me, I know what I'm choosing. I'm choosing love. I'm choosing transparency. I also know how it can be manipulated by anybody who wants, however they want, which is why they're not half safe. It's also why when I think of people who are like, they betrayed you, why would you want to be friends with them? One, now I know all their tricks. So really. And two, they didn't betray anybody. They just showed me how they don't know how to talk to me. Three, therapists will explain to you exactly why they still will do it. Like my facade friend. Because they're not their true self. They're past self people who are living out their subconscious. And part of that is their 0-3-year-olds. So really, I have nothing to say to their implicit memory, because it's all sensations and they're not even taking ownership. And therefore, as we move forward, again, us building a community is of safe people. That's the ones of us who don't do, how dare they, how dare who, what. Don't correct us, leave us alone. We know how to handle our words and how to use dictionaries. And we know that not everything that we read on the internet is true. And we know what pseudoscience people do and what sciences people do. And guess what? There's sciences who want to disprove reality. So I'm just going to let you all know the fun factors. Spirituality people want to prove spirituality. And it's not provable. It's a subjective experience, spirituality, faith. Yeah, we have books from our ancestors. They don't set down the laws of that which is faith. That's a belief. That actively will be a belief. I mean, really, if there's one thing that will be in a belief. So it can be falsifiable by science, but we all know they can't disprove God. In fact, they even talk about the hard problem of consciousness. I'm just saying, if we really must elaborate, that's the one thing that I love about science is they have a way that they will prove repeatedly something. So I'm like, yep, science, great. You have proven that heaven in the body is obtainable, which is why you've proven what I learned about God and us and all that. But I can go down the path, like I said, if you don't prove spirit, it's energy. I mean, yeah, we can see things with science, but the spiritual people don't like how the sciences talk about our world. They make it sound too technical. It is boring, I have to say. It's not that boring. It actually, to me, it allows me to expand our conversation so that mindful living people can come and join us and have a good time, because we won't be like, oh, how dare you talk about our woo-woo-ness. Come on over. Woo-woo right here. But please do not tell me that neuroscience is shit, because then I'm going to be like, okay, even the sciences people who make buffoonery, I will still listen to, because they still have valid points. I can still understand how they're wielding their words and how they're looking at that data, because data is not always correct anyway. So I'm just saying, like, as an academic, I know what data is. But we're curious and open, accepting, and loving. So we don't dismantle anything. That's the left right brain people, because we're like, it all sits here. It sits when we need it. We'll go pick it. Oh, look, this one from yesterday. I think from ancient history. I think we could put it here. Don't you think we could? Let's go grab. It's kind of like art. They change every year, right? Or every how often. So the people who don't like it, they miss the ancient times. They're reminiscing of it. Okay, I'm teasing now. Thanks for stopping by. Like, share, and subscribe. We'll be back with more. Have a good one.